Hi, everybody. I'm finally back with a proper Historathon update with accomplishments. And also, as you can tell since my last video, my jaw is much better. I can talk normally. The pain has been much less since having a procedure done here on the right side of my jaw to help with like jaw disorder, TMD, whatever it is, where the jaw joint hurts. So now I can talk a lot easier. I feel a lot better jaw. Still chronic pain and chronic fatigue. It never goes away. But having something like that was just giving me headaches and like neck pain and stuff, that is at least eased off and is a much better, is much better, is so helpful. I am actually off work today. It is a Thursday when I'm filming this, and hopefully I'll just upload it in a little bit because I hadn't had a chance to do an update in a while. Thought I'd sit down and go ahead and do it. I'm off work today because I have another doctor's appointment. I'm going to get some imaging done, and that's what happens as you get older, and also when you have a lot of stuff going on. It's nice to have the morning off before I go, and I can get a little reading done this morning. And as I mentioned, a proper update for Historathon is that I finished my first Historathon book. I finished Weaver, Scribes, and Kings, and I was so pleased when I finished it. It's a fantastic book. It was just a little disappointing listening to it as an audiobook, but once I was kind of halfway through it, or even when I just had first started it and realized it would have been better as a print book, I just learned my lesson and said the next books I'm gonna get are gonna be ones I can physically read with my eyes, because I just like my history nonfiction that way more. But fantastic book, and read by the author. So, and if you're like an immersive reader where you read and you listen at the same time, I bet it would be fantastic to do that, because she wrote it and she's reading it so perfectly that I think that would be very enjoyable. And I just got the audiobook for free from my library. If I didn't mention that before, that's why I listened to it and didn't go out and buy a copy of it, because my libraries that I have access to did not have it. But I think for the next quarter, we're gonna stick to what I can get physically and read. So I set myself just that one book for the first quarter. And part of that is also because, as you know, I'm reading this massive guy for the whole year, which kind of counts for all of Historathon because it covers everything. But I wanted to read also one book in each period to expand my reading, because I tend to read more modern stuff, like 18th century to now is sort of my more interest areas. And I'm trying to just, at least, I do like some ancient history, I just don't read it as much. So I wanted to get a little bit of different stuff in there. So that's one of the things I like about Historathon, is it pushes me to read some things that maybe I have on the TBR but just have not got to, because I tend to just gravitate towards the same things I always do. But I'm really pleased I finished that. I kind of had already decided, especially since it took me half the quarter to finish it, that I would not start something new in that ancient history realm, even though you all had shared some wonderful recommendations and ideas. I think it was like Between Two Rivers, the history of Mesopotamia was one that I added to my TBR. And there's one called The Tribes of Britain that I absolutely would love to read, because British history, all periods, is my favorite. And we'll talk a little bit more about that too. So there's more that I kind of saw here and I want to read, but I think I'm just gonna have to leave it for the future, which is not a bad thing. Always have something to read, never run out. But that's because I'm going to keep working on this for the rest of the quarter, and then maybe pick something else up from a different time period, whatever ends up. I've got other books here. I might start my Q2 book early. I haven't decided yet. We're gonna take it easy and not push ourselves too much. But speaking of the book for the year, doing great on politics. As you saw, still working along. I haven't made as much progress since the last time I did an update, I don't think. As I was kind of chugging along very well, and then not feeling well, and work got busy, that kind of stuff. But I'm still making excellent progress. So I'm on page 308. I'm into the Middle Ages of political thought, and it's very interesting, but again, I'm not familiar with it like I should. I recognize names, I recognize some of the concepts, but again, it's something I haven't retained a lot of knowledge from, so I'm really enjoying it, and I actually would love to go read some of the stuff he's mentioning further. I mean, that's kind of the point, is to learn about a lot and then go and read more. But for now, I'm just very happy that, so 300 pages out of 1,000, I'm making good progress. I'm gonna finish this year, and I'm gonna be so happy when I do it. It's gonna be like, confetti and fireworks and stuff, because it's this full year project it's been really interesting, but really enriching. So I'm enjoying that. So I'll just work on this for the rest of the quarter, and then pretty soon I'll share the book I'm gonna read for the second quarter in another video. And so I'll work on that one, but also I'm on a bit of a side quest. So since fiction would be a side quest, this came in for me at my public library. Finally, I've been waiting for a little while on the hold list. I, of course, love Pillars of the Earth as a British history fan, and I love cathedrals. I love visiting them, and I quite enjoy the ancient monuments like Stonehenge, so was looking forward to picking this one up. I actually made it to Stonehenge this year. Well, sorry, not this year. Last year in 2025, in the summer, when I spent my month in the UK, and actually had been to Stonehenge before. But this felt like the first time, because the first time I visited Stonehenge was in 2018. It was the Beast from the East. I probably have some footage somewhere of like the snow that was falling down, but it was a really bad camera, so I probably have it somewhere, that snow was starting to fall, and it was so frigid, so cold, that I basically like just walked quickly around Stonehenge and took it in, and then got right back on the little shuttle that takes you back to the visitor center, and like went and had soup or something while I waited to take my tour bus back to Salisbury, where I was staying. So I had seen it before, but this time, like, I was there in the summer. It was very crowded. It was very busy with lots of tourists, but it was a beautiful day, perfect temperature, sunshine, and I got to kind of leisurely take a leisurely walk around the stones and around the circle and take it all in and enjoy it. And it was really nice. I really enjoyed getting to go back and properly see it. And so I am reading Ken Follett's new book, Circle of Days, and it's reminding me of my time visiting Stonehenge. So this is the large print edition. I will at the library, if it's a book like this that's a big bestseller, we still have kind of long wait lists on these, so I'll put a hold on all the copies, all the versions that I'm interested in. And if large print comes in first, that's actually great, because these eyes are not getting any younger, and the big print is actually really nice to work on. But that just tells you that I'm on chapter 9, and let's see that's past page 215. So chapter 9, a good ways into it. I have to say that his writing is a bit blunter and choppier. I think it probably was that way in Pillars of the Earth, and I just loved Pillars of the Earth so much. And I've read a couple of his other books. There's the one that was it Eye of the Needle was his other big seller. I think it was a World War II spy or something. I'm pretty sure I read that as well. And I enjoyed his books, but I kind of forget. I think his style of writing is very like punchy and just like he just tells you stuff real fast and then he jumps forward and he tells you more stuff. I will say his writing style is not my favorite. I sometimes wish he would delve into certain things a little bit more, but that's the way he is, and that's definitely the way he is in this book. And so I'm just kind of going along for the ride, I guess, on this one. It's just seeing like where he goes with sort of the building of the history of how the stones got built and the story of the people that he's created as that story. And so far, the characters are, I usually like characters I can connect with a lot. And that's what I think the sort of writing style affects that is I don't always feel like these are real people that he's created. I feel like they're just there to get through the whole epic story he's going to want to tell. That's just the feeling I'm getting. So I like the characters. They're not, the unlikable characters get what they deserve at various points. Like if they do something wrong, they get in trouble for it, and you feel like, well, they did something wrong, and so they deserved to lose what they had, or to have to leave the society, that kind of thing. Sorry, maybe a little bit of a spoiler, but they never feel fully fleshed out because he's moving quite quickly through the lives of these people and the life of the communities that he's talking about. But overall, an enjoyable read. I look forward to working on this one today too, and for the next few weeks while I finish it, as well as my current book of the year that I'm still working on. So I'm curious if any of you have read this yet, because it came out last year, I think earlier in the year, and I'm guessing some of you have picked this up because I've seen Pillars of the Earth mentioned. We talked about it in the Discord server for a little bit, and I've seen people mention it so many times. It's a big favorite of, I think, historical fiction readers, history readers. It's just one of those that, who doesn't love a medieval cathedral? I sure do. But yeah, so let me know. Sorry, brain goes off into another realm. So let me know if you've read this yet and what you thought of it, or if you're currently reading it, what you're also thinking about, because I'm curious as to what you think. And if you remember, it's been so long since I read Pillars of the Earth, I feel like maybe it's time to go back and read it and see what it was like, to see if I'm thinking this is a little bit different, he's writing differently, or it's very likely that he's just written the same, and I just loved that book so much that I didn't notice sort of the writing style being similar to kind of what I'm experiencing now. But we also change as readers, right? Like we like certain things. I remember liking certain things 10, 20 years ago that now I'm kind of like, yeah, no thanks. I'm not really interested in that anymore. Writing style, topics, tropes, subject matter, we change and kind of grow as we get older and read new things, and our tastes change. So anyway, all that to say, let me know what you thought if you read it, and let me know how your Historathon is going. I know all of you have finished so many books, and I know I'm not supposed to be jealous and like comparing myself to other people, but I am kind of jealous that you all are doing so well in your Historathon reading. I wish I could just spend all my time reading all these history books that everyone's recommending, and instead my list just keeps growing, and I'll get to them someday while still adding new books to the list. But I hope you're doing well, and let me know how you're doing in the comments. And I appreciate you all for watching today, and I'll see you next time.